is Fisher. It's not us, it's you. Stay in Oakland.
A lot of fans there not too happy about that. It's game time. That was earlier this week at the Coliseum, where A's fans certainly sent a message to ownership in their reverse boycott. But now the Nevada governor has signed that bill to fund a Las Vegas stadium for the Oakland A's. Now, to break that down and so much more, we are joined by former A's executive Andy Dolich. Good morning, Andy. Thanks for coming back on.
Oh, good morning, Gianna. Good to be with you.
Absolutely. So we have a lot to get to, but first, how impressive was Tuesday's reverse boycott at the Coliseum? Have you ever seen anything like this in sports?
No, and I've seen a lot in sports. Incredible. Give props to the organizers and the fans that showed up, doing the wave, telling John to sell the team. However, I think the more impressive part is millions of A's fans have boycotted the team that John Fisher has destroyed in order to move them out of Oakland.
I mean, yeah, they are clearly not happy with how things are going, and you can't really blame them too much. At this point, though, Andy, is there any shot that this doesn't work out for the A's heading to Vegas? Is there a possibility that this deal doesn't get done?
Well, that would be my Father's Day wish. I would say this, the $385 million that's been approved in Nevada, that is still far short of the $1.5 billion and more that it is going to cost to move the A's to Las Vegas. And although there have been a lot of empty words over the years from John Fisher about he's going to 100% privately finance everything, including the $385 million worth of public money, he has not ever been rooted in Oakland. And I do think there is still a possibility that this deal could unravel, especially where are the Bedouin A's going to play after 24?
Yeah, I think that's a big question a lot of people are thinking about, and that's just around the corner. So, Andy, Commissioner Rob Manfred did address the situation yesterday after an owners meeting. I do want to pull up what he said, a little bit of that. Here it is in part, quote, "I feel sorry for the fans in Oakland. I do not like this outcome. I understand why they feel the way they do. I think that the real question is, what is it that Oakland was prepared to do? There is no Oakland offer. They never got to the point where they had a plan to build a stadium at any site." Also, Andy, I should point out Oakland's mayor pushed back against that narrative yesterday. How do you view the commissioner's role in all of this? And actually, how much blame goes to MLB for actually letting this happen and get this far?
A great percentage of it. And as we've talked about before, Gianna, it's a total lack of teamwork, leadership, and trust between Major League Baseball, led by Commissioner Rob Manfred, the Oakland A's and John Fisher, and Oakland public officials. You've got to work together, and we've seen it just in our market with San Francisco and what has happened over there in terms of building venues and around the country. So for Rob Manfred to say he feels sorry, he could have done something about it. There was a deal to be done at Howard Terminal. And as the mayor pushed back, that is not factual. And as we've also talked about, you could have easily been in a new stadium already at the Coliseum. This is about a net asset value play. John Fisher has a team that is at the very bottom of valuation, and hard to believe, $1.2 billion. If heavy equipment is in the ground in Nevada in the next year or two, that could double. And what he does then, only time will tell, but that makes baseball look good, and it makes the commissioner look good because he works for the owners and he has increased the value of a franchise. That's part of his job.
I know, but still so tough on the fans and tough on the city of Oakland. I do want to mention you have a new book out called Goodbye Oakland. It really takes a deep dive into sports in the city. How does this current situation with the A's compare to what happened with the Warriors leaving Oakland? Is this much tougher for the city fans to take?
Yes, because this has been played out over such a long period of time and people have seen the success. In the Warriors case, Joe Lacob and the other owners made a decision that they wanted a new state-of-the-art arena in San Francisco, which hadn't had one for decades. So they never even talked to Mayor Gene Kwan or anybody else there. They said, we're gone. In terms of the Raiders, that was an NFL deal to take the team to Las Vegas to be involved in a coming incredible money that's going to come from legalized gaming. There was never going to be a new football stadium built in Oakland. And Mark Davis just shook his head north and south when the NFL said, Mark, you go sit over there. We'll get this team to a $1.8 billion stadium. And the state paid $900 million. So this is different because the Coliseum could be knocked down, a new ballpark could be built there, or Howard Terminal could have been completed. But John Fisher thought, and Major League Baseball believed, that it would be quicker to build in Las Vegas. You're leaving the sixth largest market, totally diverse, for the 40th not diverse. Makes zero sense.
That's super. It's just unfortunate, Andy, but we really do appreciate your insight. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. We'll check in with you again very soon. Andy Dolich, and happy Father's Day. Have a great weekend.
Thank you, Gianna.